Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Brothers and sisters, today we are talking about the sincerity and the presence of intention in all deeds. Inshallah, few days we will mention the verses of the Holy Quran and Hadith about the ikhlas, about the purity of intention in all our deeds, in all our a'mal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. They were commanded only to worship Allah, devoting their religion exclusively for Him and turning away from other religions, to establish salah and to pay zakah. This is the way of the true religion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَن يَنَالَ اللَّهَ لُحُومُهَا وَلَا دِمَاؤُهَا وَلَكِنْ يَنَالُهُ التَّقْوَى مِنْكُمْ. Their flesh and blood will never reach Allah, but it is your piety that will reach Him. Another place Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ إِن تُخْفُوا مَا فِي صُدُورِكُمْ أَوْ تُبْدُوهُ يَعْلَمْهُ اللَّهُ. Say, whether you hide or reveal what is in your hearts, Allah knows it. Introduction. Ikhlas, sincerity, mean to worship Allah Azza wa Jal with the sole objective of attaining His closeness. A person should not worship Allah Azza wa Jal to boast, seek praise, or solicit compliments from people. Ikhlas is a precondition for the acceptance of an action, as Allah Azza wa Jal only accepts action done for His pleasure. Good actions done with ulterior motives are rejected by Allah Azza wa Jal. One should therefore evaluate one's intention before commencing any action and correct it if necessary. Scholars advise that a person should make multiple intentions for any action. For example, if one intends going to the masjid for salah, one should, together with the intention of performing salah, make the following intentions: teaching others about Islam, meeting and greeting people, removing dirt and impurities from the masjid, assisting the old and infirm, and removing obstacles from the path. Intentions are made from the hearts, and therefore it is not conditional to utter them verbally. This is supported by the other hadiths which state that Allah Azza wa Jal considers the action and intentions of a person rather than his outward appearance and form. The importance of intention can be gauged from the statement of the pious. Yahya ibn Abi Kathir rahmatullah alayhi said, consider your intention because it is more far-reaching than your action. Sufyan Sawri rahmatullah alayhi said, I have not been concerned with anything more difficult than my intention because it fluctuates. Abdullah ibn Mubarak rahmatullah alayhi said, many small actions are exalted by an intention and many great actions are diminished by an intention. Now we see our first hadith in this regard. عن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه قال: سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم يقول: إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى فمن كانت هجرته إلى الله ورسوله فهجرته إلى الله ورسوله ومن كانت هجرته لدنيا يصيبها أو امرأة ينكحها فهجرته إلى ما هاجر إليه. Umar radiallahu anhu narrates, I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam saying, actions are gauged by intention. Each person will receive the reward for what he intended. One who immigrates to Allah and His Messenger, his immigration is indeed to Allah and His Messenger. One who immigrates to acquire something of the world or to marry a woman, his immigration is to that to which he immigrated. Vocabulary and definitions of this hadith. An-niyat mean intentions. Intentions is the plural of niyyah, intention. According to the lexicon, niyyah mean to intend something, and according to the Sharia, it is referred to an intention when doing an action. Yani, according to the dictionary, it means to intend something. And according to the Sharia, it refers to an intention when doing an action. Hijratuhu, his migration. The word hijrah literally means to leave. According to the Sharia, it means to leave a land of disbelief and proceed to a land of Islam due to fear of trials and tribulations. Actions are gauged by intentions mean that the correctness and goodness of an action is based on the intention with which it is done. Allah Azza wa Jal looks at the underlying intention more than the action itself. Hence, those who migrated in order to assist the religion of Allah Azza wa Jal will be rewarded, while those who migrated for marriage or trade will be deprived of a reward. Commentary of this hadith. The background of this hadith is explained by a narration of Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu, who said, a man amongst us proposed to marry a woman by the name of Qais radiyallahu anha, but she refused to marry him unless he migrated to Medina Munawwara. He agreed and married her, and therefore became known as Muhajir Qais. This hadith teaches us that actions are considered according to the intention with which they are done. Mundane actions such as eating, greeting, or speaking will earn a reward if coupled with the correct intention, but will earn chastisement if done with an evil intention. The Sahaba Kiram Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in and pious were particularly cautious of this and scrutinized their actions at every step. This hadith has been narrated with tawatur, meaning that many people have narrated it. It enjoys great status and virtue and is a foundational principle of the religion of Islam. A narration in Bukhari states that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would mention it in his sermon, and Umar radiallahu anhu would narrate it from the pulpit of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is such an integral part of Islam that some scholars have regarded it as being a third of all Islamic teaching. Again, I am repeating, it is such an integral part of Islam that some scholars have regarded it as being a third of all Islamic teachings. Abu Ubaid rahmatullah alayhi said, there is no single hadith that is more comprehensive, independent, and beneficial than this hadith. Which hadith? Innamal a'malu binniyat. Actions are according to intention. Abu Dawud rahmatullah alayhi, the great scholar of hadith, said, it is half of all knowledge. According to Imam Bayhaqi rahmatullah alayhi, it is a third of knowledge because the deeds of men are associated with his heart, tongue, and limbs, and intentions are related to the heart. Abu Dawud rahmatullah alayhi also said, I wrote 500,000 ahadith of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. From these I chose 4,800 ahadith. From these, 4 ahadith are sufficient for a person's religion. Number 1, actions are gauged by intention. Number 2, the permissible is clear and prohibited is clear. Number 3, the beauty of a man's Islam is his avoiding that which does not concern him. Number 4, any of you cannot be a believer unless he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi chose to begin his Sahih, yani his book Sahih al-Bukhari, with this hadith in order to reinforce the importance of sincerity and correctness of intention. In this way, he intended that his compilation should be for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. History bears the testimony that he succeeded in his intention because his book Sahih al-Bukhari was blessed with unique acceptance among the Islamic books of both the East and the West. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.